Hi folks, this is a story of the trip that my daughters and I took in Yunnan, a region of China.
This is part of our second trip to China, which also includes Sichuan and Chongqing, independently organized day by day as we search for the very best this incredible country has to offer. You can find the videos from our first trip at the link above and in the description below. After landing in Shanghai and spending a day settling in, we moved on to Kunming, exploring the city and the nearby stone forest, completely alone with no other tourists around. From there, we continued to Lijiang, where we scooted around the beautiful old villages in the area. Next, we headed to the incredible Shaxi and Shibaoshan, with ancient temples carved into the cliffs. We then went on a 2-day hike through the jaw-dropping Leaping Gorge, before reaching our final stop in Yunnan, the legendary Shangri-La.
If you stay tuned, you'll also find out what is the amazing place behind me. Let's go! Here we start. If you know, with the usual backpack, take a train now to the airport. We are at the airport of Munich. We are checking in now. Check-in done, passports ready. First ones to get on the plane. I think it's the first time in my life. I'm usually the last one at the absolutely last second to get in. Landed on time at the Shanghai airport, waiting now for the luggage here. So we arrived, everything okay, and a colleague of mine organized a taxi. I didn't even know. I found my name at the arrivals, and we are gonna go to the hotel. He's gonna take us for dinner. We now settled down in the hotel, and a work colleague of mine invited us for dinner. He also organized the taxi, and this is the restaurant, typical Shanghainese food. This is the Nanjing East Road with all the neon lights, lots of shops. We are gonna go inside, there are some games. This behind me is the wall of M&M's. First proper day in Shanghai. We are in the Bund. Our hotel is right here. For the day is gonna take it easy. We walk around here, Yew Garden, some of the modern art museums probably, and then tomorrow we already fly away. And for lunch we are on a restaurant rooftop just across the Pudong area. We are on the rooftop terrace of the same restaurant where we ate, with the view on the skyline. Yew Garden is no secret spot. It's the most famous classical garden in Shanghai. There are lots of people, but it's really beautiful. Out of the Yew Garden, this is the old city. And now we do a visit at the Power Station of Art. It's one of the modern art museums in Shanghai. They built in ex-power station, kind of the Tate Gallery of Shanghai. This is the inside of the museum. The first installation is a kind of a tree in autumn inside the building with real leaves falling down. A good number of pretty crazy installations. Some are too edgy for me, others are visually very stunning. This behind me is the Qinjiang Scenic Point, where there is the tulips fields here, and I think this would be cherry blossoms if it would be not too early. We are now crossing from the Puxi to the Pudong side. We want to go up to the Shanghai Tower, and now we're gonna go up here. This is the Shanghai Tower Observatory, about 550 meters of altitude, over the city downstairs. We are 9 big city feeling with all the main towers all around. Fun fact, Shanghai, 10 p.m. and every single light here in Pudong has been turned off. The towers. Sunday morning, today we fly to Kunming. This is the Shanghai airport. We still need to check in. Yunnan Airlines from Shanghai to Kunming. Got to the airport of Kunming right on time. I do not see any foreign tourists. Let's see if in the hotspots there are more. Here we are at the Golden Temple scenic area just outside Kunming. There are some gardens and some temples. Here my personal chef that is doing it for €2, some fried noodles. Gigantic grapes. I'm curious to see if they are tasty or I think they're gonna be like they're quite expensive. Let's see. As expected, the gigantic grapes are like candies, completely sweet. We are walking to the Green Lake, which is an area with some ponds and cafes. This is the bamboo island on the Green Lake, and I think it is confirmed that there are no foreigners. I didn't see any so far in all of Kunming. I dropped my girls to one of those ladies that paints the face, and I continue my meandering through the green park. For the kids, it's really fantastic. They have everywhere all the places where you can rent traditional clothes and then these kind of things. We're gonna spend 2 nights in Kunming. Tomorrow, the idea is to go to the Stone Forest, which is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Issues that I read everywhere that is completely crowded the whole time, even during the week. TikTokers all around. These are just 3 of the ones that I've seen. Everywhere. And of my 2 daughters, one is done, one is ongoing back there. Leaving Green Park and we go toward what they call the old Kunming city, or the old street of Kunming, before getting to the hotel. This is the old street of Kunming, and there is some good stuff like this one like here, cockroaches, worms and all the rest, but also some better stuff like the mushrooms, which will be very famous in Yunnan. Dinner in the restaurant in the old street of Kunming, extremely spicy. I didn't realize when we ordered, my daughters are exploding. We got some rice for them. We got basically in the central square of Kunming, and there is the Macarena of China, I guess. They're all coordinated. Got to the hotel in Kunming, Hotel Cache Boutique Hotel. This is quite interesting. Near Kunming there is a place called Stone Forest, which is also a UNESCO site, where I read on Lonely Planet everywhere there is a huge amount of tourists that I was almost thinking to avoid coming here. And there are 2 main locations. One is Shilin and one is Naigu, where I'm right now. I got here by taxi and there was absolutely nobody. I asked the taxi driver to wait a second just to see if it was open. Here's the entrance. We are the absolutely only ones. And please try to read on Lonely Planet what they say about this place. Walking through this Naigu Stone Forest area, and so far we didn't meet even one single tourist. And we found the only tourist, this for kind ladies. A small pond is what is called a reflection pool. I think the reasons are obvious. Finished with the Naigu stone forest. Now we go to the more popular one, the Shilin. Got for lunch to the main stone forest place and we got into this very crowded restaurant. The guy back there is the owner. Here's the ticket office of the more famous of the two places, the Shilin, and there's nobody here as well. And these back here are all the shuttle buses that are going from the visitor center where I am to the entrance of the park. All stop and just waiting for somebody. Here the private service coming. We rented this fantastic scooter that goes probably, it's even written, 7 kilometers per hour. My daughter is my personal driver here among the rocks. And this is what is called, I think, the major stone forest. And this one back here is the most photographed place in this park with this writing. I saw it in all the brochures. This is the kind of middle point of the major stone forest here. Much more stunning than the previous ones, also different. Now at 5 they close the small stands and shops. The park is open until 7 and it's completely desert.
You can find the full point of view video of our walk through the stone forest at the link above in the description and on my channel.
And this behind me is the Sword Peak Pond, absolutely incredible. It's almost 7 p.m. and the park is almost closing. And to summarize it, this is 100% recommended. If you are in this area, this is something that you have to do. In the morning we did Naigu, which is the smaller area. In the afternoon we did the main area, which is the one behind me. And we only covered maybe 1/3 of the park in the rock formations. I would have liked to spend more.
By pure coincidence, we came back for a trip today. We walked around the hotel and we ended up in this restaurant, which is actually the restaurant of the hotel. And it turns out that it is a Bavarian restaurant, as you can see from the colors of the tablecloths and the food itself.
First fully idiotic thing of the trip, I had booked a train from Kunming to Lijiang around 10:30 and I got to the station with the ticketing number that I got on the app. And then I realized that I had the whole passport number saved for my daughter, so that I tried to go to the counter, but it was too late to change it. So I missed the train, and now we have to wait about 2 hours for the next train close to the station of Kunming, where there is absolutely nothing. And we end up here on a stand just across the train station, drinking frozen yogurt and playing double here.
这2个都是你的啊，这个是2是吧？来看看我，
He thinks that we enjoy this kind of small interactions. Somehow it has its charm to just sit around and look what's happening. Life in the square in front of a station of a random place in China. I arrived in Lijiang finally at 4 p.m. instead of like 2 p.m. I got on the taxi halfway to the hotel. I don't find my earphones anymore, so I look on the Jabra app where they were the last time. They were at the station, so I asked the guy to go back to the station. I went to the place where they were the last time. I could not find them, so lost the earphones. I'm here in the end at 6 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. in the city. We got to the room and finally a highlight for the day, which otherwise was for nothing. Here is the balcony on the old city of Lijiang, back there. Throughout the whole city there is a repetition of about 10 shops that look all identical to each other. For as much as it is a bit touristy, it's really incredibly beautiful, the place. Huge amount of people in the city. It's a normal Tuesday evening. There are competing bands, one on that window and the girls back there. This is not even, I think, the main road in Yunnan. I think it's one of the roads on one of the canals. There is a huge amount of bars, a lot of live music. The girl here is looking at me. Every single bar has live music. Here's just an example behind. It's on every side. There as well, you see. When you say brutal competition, there are probably, I would say like at least 300 bars with music in it. And back where we got the dresses, they were a bit exhausted by the fights not to get pictures. The tour bus did not get in town yet, so the town is still very quiet and the shops are mostly closed. Let's have a look with a bit of a different character than in 1 hour from now when everybody gets in. This is the Wangu building, which dominates the city of Lijiang. There's a viewing platform, so I gotta go inside. And the mountain back there should be the Jade Dragon Mountain that, believe it or not, is 6,000 meters high. The terrace of the room is kind of the highlight of the hotel, and his family asked to come over and take a picture with the view of the city. The plan for today is leaving Lijiang and going to the villages which are around here. There are some villages, some scenic spots. The plan is to take a scooter. I managed to rent a scooter here for the crazy sum of €8 for 1 day. This weird bicycle helmet also for my daughters back there. We are with the scooter now and we are gonna go to see a few small villages around Lijiang. This is the Heilongtan, it's a park just outside of the city where there is a view of the mountain back there, the Jade Dragon Mountain, and also one of the most famous viewing spots that there is around the city. Now we got to Shue Old Town, which is one of the old villages around Lijiang. Also in Shue, it's unmissable going through a shop with traditional dresses and makeup. I order fish. Ah, it's still alive.
Okay.
It's my fish.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, nice.
Okay.
I ordered fish and a guy came with a scooter and brought it. So for sure it's fresh because it was still alive. And we couldn't miss the horse riding through the city here, or village. Getting to Shue from the main entrance, I was not too impressed, but in reality the village is huge and there are many different kind of houses. This is the corner of town where all the photo shootings take place. There are maybe 10 in this moment. I think it's a mix of weddings and people who want to take picture in traditional clothes. You get to Baisha, way more crowded. Behind me is a bar where you can go on top of the roof and look at these mountains around. And a cappuccino with a straw is a first timer for me. Here I am with the roof community, mostly dressed up. A goat with a diaper. The baby goats are the absolutely highlight of this spot. There are about I think 10 of them. They are all taken. Leaving Baisha now and going back to Lijiang. And there is somebody behind that is. Hi. I know. Yeah. I noticed how well my helmet is going. Yeah, driving back with the girls here, back to Lijiang. And back in Lijiang, it is more quiet than yesterday, at least in these back roads. The girls still want to put some dresses again. So the daughters wanted absolutely to go in one of these bars to listen to some live music, so they picked up some melodic girls singing.
Breakfast here in the guest house in Lijiang is pure Chinese. And incredibly, my bigger ones love the noodles.
Goodbye Lijiang. Now walking to the gate of the old city where we're gonna pick up a taxi and let's see the next destination. It should be pretty exciting. I saw some pictures of these temples in the stones. We got to Shibaoshan Park. That back there is the ticket office and there is absolutely nobody. On Shibaoshan Mountain there are two locations with temples. We arrived at the first one and among the huge variety of choice that we had, we chose the lady here that offers some noodles. Girls with some monkey feeding entertainment back there. Here my fried noodles. The fried noodles result in tastier than any expectation I had with bacon and mushrooms. The lady really knows how to do her thing. My daughters did not appreciate very much the noodles as I did, so they are gonna go for some pure bacon. Here behind me the first of several temples on Shibaoshan. One is in the stones, like this one here. Here are some of the temples on the cliffs of the mountain. I see again one of these astonishing places in China where there is nobody, no local tourists, no foreign tourists. This is the other part of Shibaoshan mountain. This is the Shizong temple and grottos. Also here we were the only one on the way here. It's about a 30 minutes walk from the parking lot. And also here, not too bad. Look at that. This is incredible. This is a temple built on the cliffs, and these are called the grottos of Shibaoshan. And those statues have been made in the year between the year 700 and 900, which means that they are 1,300 years old. And here is the view of the grottos from the opposite side of the valley. The view is incredible. Coming down from the Shibaoshan Park, and there was no taxi. First time that the legendary DD car, where there's always been tons of availability, and nothing. At the beginning I thought it was because the park is a bit inside the mountains, that nobody would come there, so we did hitchhiking up to the main road, but also there were no taxis. And then I saw this kind of green car, which I saw driving by. I'm not sure if it is a real taxi because there's no taxi sign. But I waved and they picked us up. Now I can't understand why there were no taxi coming here. Look at the road, Ayuto. And we made it to Shaxi. I think we were very lucky to find this random taxi coming by on the road. Also, this one is a beautiful village, much more elegant than the others. Also, the shops, there is a bit less trash, there is more nice shops. Finally, we got to the hotel. It was placed on the wrong point of the map, so we did a bit of meandering through this really beautiful village. And the room is really not bad at all. So here's the sleeping area. New village and new dresses, of course, and this is the central square of Shaxi. The building back there, I've seen it in several brochures of China. I'm truly amazed by this place, which is all kind of fancy. There are boutiques, art galleries, cafes, and if you look where Shaxi is, I thought it was a pretty lost place. So we are in this restaurant in Shaxi. We ordered 3 dishes that turned out to be boiled ham, a tortilla, which is something with maize and sugar on top, then a fish. Final verdict is that Shaxi is a must-go place. It's the most magic of the villages that I've seen on this trip. Still in Shaxi this morning, we go to the target Leaping Gorge for the hike, the 2 days hike, but the girls liked it so much that they asked to go around the city a little bit more. This behind me is the Xin Chao temple, built in 2400. I think it's the main structure that can be visited. And this behind me is one of these chic places for which is the city is dotted. It is kind of a courtyard with a guy that has a Chimbali coffee machine and an open-air library. There are plenty of these places here. We're in the taxi from Shaxi to the target Leaping Gorge. Lunch in the Naxi farmhouse. Had a chat with the British guy, and now we start the hike. I turn around. We have a look at the mountains here in the back. 2:30. Here's where the hike from our point of view actually starts, with the track behind us. For the girls, we have a horse. Happy them, happy me. And there is a gentleman from England that is walking with us.
I made a video dedicated to the Tiger Leaping Gorge hike while traveling. You can find it at the link above in the description or on my channel.
Here we are at the top of these 24 turns, and now we got this beer. There's some fresh. Here's the top of the 28 turns. It's a 10 yuan to come to this kind of peak that looks into the gorge back there. We now got to a tiger in the middle of the hike, in a pretty dramatic point. It's pretty steep down there. The hike is better than expected. I think it was pretty good that we started so late in the day, because there's just a handful of other hikers. This is about halfway the hike. There's the village here, and the next one that we go is somewhere back there. A traffic jam of goats here. My daughters are trying to feed them, but they don't want to take it. The view is absolutely magnificent. We took a break back there. Got to the village where we spend the night, which is called Badi 1, and here you can see the hike. Basically, we started back here where we left the luggage, and the taxi driver dropped us off at the Naxi guest house, and then the girls went with the donkey up here, and then we walk basically, I think, up here. Then we walk this path, and we are in Badi 1 here for the night. And here we are at the hotel, and it is 12 kilometers and about 800 meters, so 700 meters of altitude for the whole day. Absolutely stunning. As mentioned before, it topped my expectations. this is the view that we hopefully will have from the room. We start the day with this incredible breakfast with the view of the mountains opposite. They only have Chinese type breakfast, which has two options basically. This kind of noodles and this kind of noodles. We just left the village of Badiwan back there where we spent the night, and first thing of the day I noticed there is many more people, I guess for a number of reasons. It's Saturday, it's a long weekend, we are early in the day. Alright, so this is reality Instagram moment, and I can even do as much as going all the way to the border. Can you zoom around, like, can you show the reality? And this is a pretty impressive point of the gorge. There is a kind of a path that goes into the gorge with the outlook point, and it is quite exposed. You can see both directions. You can see also the water underneath, all the mountains around. Taking a quick rest with the girls, cucumber and apple. And here there is a small stand with some gentlemen. I think that back down there is the end of the hike, or at least a part of the hike. It's called Middle Gorge. And from there I think we take a bus. And this part of the hike, the scenery opens up again from the direction where we came from. And this behind me is Tina's guest house. The sign is the end of the trail. And now we are on the bus from the Tiger Leaping Gorge to Shangri-La. It's about 2.5 hours. Girls have get a phone, they can watch some cartoons, and I enjoy the landscape. Now riding to Shangri-La, it's about 1 hour. And I'm out on the right side of the bus. We arrived with the bus to Shangri-La, and we are now walking to the center where the hotel is. It should be right in the old town, and the feeling is very different from where we were before. But first it's colder because it's over 3,000 meters. Besides that, also the clothes and the buildings are quite different, so the food in the restaurants. And that back there is kind of the center of town. There is a big temple, but it's not this one. And our hotel is just around the corner. And we got to the hotel, Blossom Hill Inn, right in the middle of the happening in town. We got to the room, and it is once again pretty incredible. Both the view, and then there is this is the bathtub here. So here is the Shangri-La. We came out for a walk. Our hotel is right here in more central. Is not possible, and it's a very different flavor. So it's the buildings are different, the people look a bit different, and yeah, it feels special to be here. It's no secret spot, but it feels a bit at the end of the world. For dinner, we are in the center of Shangri-La. The hotel is just back there, also the monument. We also managed to get some clothes for the girls, different style this time. So this is a long weekend. There is next Monday is national holidays, and I guess there is some sort of celebration because the city is all nuts. There is at every corner there are buskers and singers. You probably don't even hear my voice because of the noise. Sunrise here in Shangri-La from the hotel room balcony. Anybody who has been here will recognize the buildings behind me. This is the center of Shangri-La. It's much more quiet than yesterday afternoon and evening, of course. You can also see the cherry blossom. For today, we are gonna scooter around the city. There are a few sites that can be reached within maybe 20-25 minutes at the most. I'm doing now the round of all the scenic spots that are marked on Google. The first one is the Balzanek scenic area, which is basically, I think, the public garden next to the city center of Shangri-La. And there's a corner of this park where there are some toys for the kids. My daughters took no time to occupy one of the tables. I'm curious to see if they are gonna make friends. It turns out that it is a playing ground kind of thing for kids, but it is charged the huge amount of 10 yuan per person, meaning 1.3 euro. So I came to the Songzangling scenic area. I'm not even sure what it is exactly. And I understood where we are, so I read the Songsan Lin, and I didn't know what it was because I read that it was a temple called Gandem, which is the most popular here in Shangri-La, which is this one back here. I was already set in my mind that Shangri-La is not that great, and then I came into this place. It's unbelievable. It's a cluster of many different temples and houses of monks. Incredible colors. The first time I've seen since I came here some people with oxygen mask. I didn't think about it, but we are at 3,300 meters. Neither myself nor my daughters felt anything. We're now on the roof of the main temple, the bigger one, and back there is Shangri-La, the city, across the pond here. In front of the monastery there is a pond from where the most famous pictures of the monastery are taken. And for the first time in my life I will be riding a horse. We are in the Napa High scenic area. And also this one is done. Like in Shangri-La, after fighting with the horse guy because I got a partial refund because it was very cold. And tonight the girls are of course dressed in Tibetan kind of style, and we go to the Guizan Palace, which is the one in the very center of Shangri-La. Now we are right here. Let's see if we join the queue here. Last day in Shangri-La. Today we are gonna go to the hairdresser for the girls and then see a couple of temples here, and then we take a flight to Sichuan, to Chengdu. By the way, I am right on the rooftop of my hotel. When I say rooftop, I'm not talking about the terrace on the roof, I'm talking about rooftop. So after 10 days on the road with the baby, the kids have crazy hair, so we are now at the hairdresser here in Shangri-La. One daughter is getting the shampoo, and the other one is ready behind me. The girls were done incredibly well. The cost of both would have been 90 yuan, which is like 12 euro, less than more of course. And 1 second later I got the information that our flight from here has been cancelled. Tried to rebook to the later one, that is also cancelled. So no idea how to leave this city. I never had hot pot, and I'm gonna try it for once here. Let's see. Found the solution to the flight. So instead of flying to Chengdu, where they cancelled both flights for today, there is another flight to Chongqing. Our original flight to Chengdu was scheduled for 3:40 I think p.m. The new one is 6:15, so we have a bit of time. We are gonna see again the central hill of Shangri-La, and then we go to a temple which is on a hill just outside town. Pretty funny walking around the city of Shangri-La. There are always some curious stuff that happens around. We came up to the Baiji temple, which is on a small hill just outside town. You can see the whole center, and there is this jungle of colorful flags. The kids go crazy for it. This is going to be the last view of Yunnan. We found this viewpoint coming down from the Baiji hill. This is the airport of Shangri-La. We just went through security with nobody else, and there was also a display showing the flights, and they were all suspended. Our Status to be determined. Let's say to go to the gate. Fun fact, we are at the airport of Shangri-La, which is at 3,300 meters, and all the ships look like this.
We finally left Shangri-La and continued our journey to Chongqing and Sichuan. If you enjoyed this video, check out the second part of our trip in these regions.